really special, guys, because joining us is the founder of Cerny Games and also a guy who is the system architect for PlayStation 4, the one and only Mark Cerny. Great to see you, Mark. How's everything?
Good.
It's a big day for PlayStation.
Yes.
At the press conference coming up tonight at 6 p.m. But before then, we are going to get a brand new look, a game that's very close to your heart, KNACK 2.
Yes.
So first of all, tell us, why is it called KNACK 2?
Well, you know, it's been fun looking at the boards. They had lots of helpful suggestions. My favorite ones were, what, KNACK 2 Electric Boogaloo, and I think another good one was KNACK 2 The Knackening.
The Knackening,
but
okay.
Knackening, whatever Knackening is.
Yes.
But you know, at the end, we just decided to keep it simple.
It's at KNACK 2. Now, obviously, KNACK was a title that right when you were on stage announcing the PlayStation 4, we got our first sort of glimpse at this world of KNACK. And it's something that you know, the team has been working on, this new game. So tell us a bit for people that may not have experienced KNACK, because there are a lot of PlayStation players that, you know, bought the system a couple years into it. What, you know, you have an incredible legacy of building so many great games, and people watching may not know Mark's history, but I mean, Mark has been in the industry for over 30 years, has contributed to incredible, you know, games like Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. You know, Mark has just really
Spyro the Dragon.
Spyro, that's right. Even Sonic back in the day, producing that. So Mark knows, you know, great platforming and is, you know, is a coder and just such an intelligent guy. So I wanted to ask you about KNACK. You know, why did you want to create this franchise and this type of gameplay for, you know, the 2017 gamer?
Well, I mean, the Origin 2013 game was just, I thought, wouldn't it be nice, you know, if there was a character action game available at launch. So we went ahead. I mean, we had an idea that there'd be this very special character who could pick up parts and grow larger. So the idea is that KNACK, you know, if he picks up more parts, he can be, he starts out 2 feet tall, but, you know, eventually he can get 30 feet tall, and his character changes a bit as he does that. When he's little, he's more mascotty, sort of old school, and then when he's 6 feet tall, he's more human, and 30 feet tall, he sort of starts to edge into monster territory.
Yes.
So that was the concept, and we did it for launch. Yeah, we did get I've got to be honest, a kind of a mixed reaction to the title. A huge weight of expectation being the first title shown for PlayStation 4.
Yes.
So for KNACK 2, you know, we went back in, we took our feedback, whether it be reviews or boards or you know, what we got in the playtests. And with KNACK 2, variety is really our keyword. I think anybody who's seeing the footage right now can just see, you know, every level of the game. It's still the same character, but we now have not just the combat, but also platforming gameplay.
Yeah.
We have lots of little puzzles. Not that deep, but you still get that 3 minutes of trying to figure out what to do and that fun eureka moment when you figure out how to make forward progress.
It's very sandboxing because there are a bunch of, you know, more open environments. You can have things in different ways.
A little bit more often. Open combat, much bigger. So have a lot of different moves. Reach out your arm 20 feet and grab an enemy and pull them in and beat them up.
And obviously, and changing form in many different ways again, right?
Yeah, you have control over your size. We're seeing a little of that here. So you can, anytime you want to get small, you can get small. So you can see KNACK climbing ledges. Here works well.
There's still something about, you know, that sort of the cadence of that gameplay, which still works, right? So many years later, it's just, you know, you can add in new elements with, as you said, size and all these other things. And technically now, you know, with PS4 and PS4 Pro, it allows you to create these beautiful worlds and allow this character to scale in ways that, you know, 10, 15 years ago could never probably really do on the hardware systems.
It's definitely fun doing all the little physicsy stuff with his parts. So right now we're seeing some platform stuff. The team's very careful. This isn't sort of floating platforms in space like it would have been, you know, 20 years ago in the genre. In the level we were seeing earlier, there was a series of water wheels which are providing power for this city, and then the scene we were just seeing.
Look how it's just so. You said the variety and diversity, sort of all these.
That's one of the fun things about the genre is you can go to so many different places. I mean, old school, you had the ice level and the lava level, and these days it has to be a bit more story-based. But really the challenge part of the story making is how do we take our hero through all of those different places and have a real rationale for it.
Yeah, well, it looks incredible. Now, tell me how does this game get developed? Because you are such a busy guy working on so many things. How much of Mark Cerny's time is devoted to kind of working with the team on that?
So the team is the Japan studio. So Sony Interactive Entertainment's worldwide studio has 200-something people in a facility in Shinagawa. And those people created Last Guardian and Gravity Rush and KNACK. There's a couple of 5 different teams in that facility. And I have to be in Tokyo anyway every month because the hardware works. So it's very easy to sit down and have those face-to-face meetings every 3 to 4 weeks. And then when I'm back in the States, a lot of teleconferences and getting builds and playing. Talking to the team.
I guess like sitting at home playing the latest build.
Get on the phone.
I mean, what's great though, and I'm sure for someone like you who has so many opportunities, and obviously taking care of the hardware is a big part of the business, but there must be something creatively to you that you really enjoy still making games.
Well, the best advice I ever got personally was from the former chairman of Sony Interactive Entertainment, and he was saying, don't stop making games. Yes, hardware is important, but a lot of the value, a lot of the ability to understand what needs to be created comes from working with the technology, trying to use it in creative ways.
Yeah. Well, it's you're right. You get to go hands-on, and then the ins and outs of what it can and can't do, and it looks really. I got to say, it's one of those things that the gameplay. When you look at it, it just looks very. A lot of variety to it, and I can't wait to see.
One more thing,
please.
Co-op.
Yeah.
So we've doubled down on co-op.
Okay.
A lot of careful work with the camera to make sure that 2 players can play freely in any
all the way
scenario.
through the game. You and your friend.
It's couch co-op, but because we have SharePlay as part of our user experience, the other player can be at their own house with their own PlayStation 4. They don't even need to own the game, and they can come join.
Oh, cool.
What else? The second player. There's a lot of different modes, like driving a tank. I've been showing to some of the press. It's fun.
No, that's why it's like this is a full scale.
All of the second player is never a spectator. So even driving a tank, what we do is we go in and it's like the second player is manning the weapons console. You've got it.
Yeah.
You've got it. Just make sure that it is fully involving experience for both people.
Well, I got to say it looks great, and one of the things I love about PlayStation is they're always investing very heavily in first party and creators, and even something like KNACK, where people well, would they do a sequel or not? It's like for you to be able to come back and build on this franchise and continue to take it in new directions is really exciting. So when will people get to play this?
Well, we've said later this year. We haven't set the date yet, but I'm sure that announcement will come fairly soon. Okay, well, there's a big press conference tonight, so who knows. All right, well, Mark Cerny, it is great seeing you, one of the true legends in the video game business, Mark Cerny, and we'll see you, we're excited to see you at the E3 Coliseum. He's going to be on stage with the entire team. Crash Bandicoot. I know, 21 years later, we're going to get the original Naughty Dog, a lot of the key members of the team, all together to talk about that. That's going to happen on Wednesday. We'll be streaming it live on YouTube, and I can't wait for that, because that was a game that was so close to my heart when I was a little boy at the second E3 in 1996. I was 16 years old, and I remember walking up to the PlayStation kiosk to play Crash, and it inspired me, so to have you on our show is always such an honor, Mark. Thanks so much. All right, well, we'll see you tonight, hopefully, at PlayStation. Now we're going to head on back over here. Thanks, Mark.